235i. Row 10 of the grid on the inside will be number 22. That's going to be Luke Browse, starting the Browse family BMW E46 M3 GTR. Next to him will be car 141, and that's going to be the additional runner, Warren Tattersall. On the 11th row of the grid, it's the 134 car. That's David Griffin in the M3, and 112, Manoj Patel, sharing with Tom Gannon in the Honda Civic Type R. On row 12 of the grid, it's number 56, the Class C Championship leader. That's David Lawrence in the Honda Civic Type R FN2. And besides him is number 76, Michael Downey, although his car stopped on circuit at the end of the qualifying session this morning. On the 13th row of the grid, it's the return of Cam Walton in car number 50, the Toyota GR Yaris, and next to him is going to be number 19, Peter Mansfield. On row 14 of the grid, it's number 42 on the inside. That's Marco Anastasi in the Lotus Elise, and 47, Maurizio Sciglio in the similar car. On the 15th row on the inside is number 71, Ben Short, an addition to the programme in the Mazda MX-5 that he's sharing with Stuart Butch today. And number 30 is Neil Huggins in the Lotus Exige he shares with Lloyd Huggins. On row 16 on the inside, it's the number 23 Honda for Matthew Bawtry from Aldershot. Next to him is number 101, that's Nick Grove in the BMW 130i. On the 17th row, number 66 is Paul Subiani sharing with Johnny Hayes, and at 74 that's the Campbell Cassidy and Matt Charrington Lotus Exige. On the 18th row of the grid, 36, Sam McKee and Alex Baldwin starting with BMW, and number 10, the other driver in contention, the other team in contention for the Class C Championship, Rob Fennick, sharing with Andrew Shepherd and Rich Netta. On to row 19, that's where we've got the Treble 3 car, which is Thomas Stedman, although the car will be started by Michael Hooper. 100 is the car of Matthew Simonite and James Mansell. Row 20 is number 7, Morgan Sparrow, Roger Sparrow starting the MX-5, and 481 is Edward Christie going solo on the 46 M3, and rounding out the field is car number 41, which is car number 20, I should say, by Toyota Pipperas in the Honda Civic FN2. So 41 cars we should have for this final round of the Takiwa Club Enduro Championship, a 100-minute race. It is scheduled to be, and as yet I don't think we have any cars on the grid, although we were expecting the race to be underway at 20 past 1. Marcus Pye is alongside me as cars, yes, they are now being released, including the Mazda MX-5. We're not quite sure who is starting that car, whether it's Daniel Irving or Alan Henderson. So we think it might well be Alan Henderson that's starting that car. Pretty get a good idea in the early stages of the race. But yes, Marcus, the car's going out onto the grid, and it is a wet circuit.
It is, and that Mazda really is quite something. Anthony Kay's team's put it together. It's the 89 MX-5, a really early one of its type, and it has Mazda MX-5 bulkheads, and that's about it really. Has a Mazda MX-5 engine, 1.8 litres, but well turboed to knock out around 300-310 horsepower. It's got a BMW DCT gearbox, 4 inches wider than the standard, fiberglass body, and it's a really beautiful thing, developed in-house. With that fabulous IMSA tribute livery, it sets it off so nicely. So a really good bit of private enterprise coming up with something a little bit different to the norm.
And qualified, of course, in drier conditions. It wasn't fully dry, it was damp.
Yeah.
But now the conditions have changed, and we'll see how that favours that car or not, as the case.
I saw it at Snetterton earlier in the year, and it began to show real potential there, which was pleasing for the team, who owned it many years ago, sold it on, and then bought it back as a sort of fairly basic turbo version of the car, and then developed it into this.
Absolutely right. And this is, as we say, going to be a 100-minute race, and that 100 minutes will start at the beginning of the flag lap. There's Charlie Dark giving us away.
Good-looking car, that.
It is, nice looking as well.
Yeah, it is. Crown paints.
Luke Browse also pleased to see us, I think.
Yep, they're from Suffolk, the Browse father and son team. That's Luke, the son at the wheel. Manoj Patel and Tom Gannon with that super little Honda. And I've got this fleet of Lotuses.
There's a 56 car, David Lawrence, he's a contender in Class C. Here's the Cam Walton Yaris, which we've not seen for a little while as well. There's the Storm and Camel Motorsport BMW. So we're having a good look down the grid here. 100-minute race, pit stops cannot be taken in the first 30 minutes or the last 15 minutes. It's a mandatory 3-minute pit stop for everybody, apart from those drivers that have penalties due to success in previous races. I'll run down those teams that are affected. Team 1, Rob Baker and Bradley Burns, they have to serve an extra 20 seconds. Team 2, which is Joel Oswick, an extra 10. Team 48, Will Stacey, 30 seconds stationary extra. Team 66, another 20. Has another 20 seconds to serve. Team 89, Scott Barkin, Dan Sylvester, 30 seconds. Team 91, Chris Plaskett, 10 seconds. Number 95, Luke Schlevitz, Kevin Glover, 20 seconds. And the treble 3 car, Michael Hooper and Thomas Stedman, 10 seconds extra that they have to serve. And that's all due to previous successes, and the idea of that is to try to mix up the winners a little bit. So when the green flag waves, which it will do momentarily, the countdown, the 100 minutes, which are on the screen now for those watching the live stream, will begin. So that will form part of the first 30 minutes in which pit stops cannot be taken. It's just a little bit of time off when we can due to the delays we had earlier. The cars gridded up into 2 ranks there because it is a rolling start concept.
Green flag.
Green flag's waved, and the countdown begins.
I sense it's getting brighter out there. The cloud base has lifted a little, and it seems also slightly warmer than it has been most of the day, maybe because the wind has dropped a little.
So the chances are the circuit will dry then as this race goes on.
You hope so. There's certainly a big field of cars out there to disperse the water. Some fabulous looking cars in the mix. A lot of Golfs out there, good looking cars they are. Interesting little Livesley Ginetta. It's battleship grey colour. Primrose sharing that colour. Hondas, lots of Lotus Elises down there. One or two of those have been very successful this year.
So, just on the Class A Championship, which is perhaps after drop scores dropped 2 drop scores out of the 6 rounds we've had so far. It's Baker and Burns on 49, Stacey, just dating there actually on 54, so I've got no bottom as the other, and the Captured Motorsport car Beecham guys on 47. So there's 6 points between them on drop scores. Coming for this one and then the first 3 still back up the championship by my reckoning. And in Class C, it's also still open. We've got David Lawrence on 46 and Fenwick on 40. 6 points between them as well. Class B is already decided, as has the overall type off.
Does it look to you slightly more of a front-wheel drive day at the moment?
One of the Lotus is starting from pit lane by the looks of it. Not sure which one that was though, but it's great sight these cars make as they are spread all the way down the Hannah Straight. Not as many as we had yesterday, of course, in the bucket where we had 70 teams taking part, but about 40 cars there we can see.
Much of that, of course, is the longer endurance as well. Over 6 hours you can start more competitors than you can over 100 minutes.
Absolutely.
It's had a bit of a scuff down the side, isn't it? Number 14, Lives in Primrose.
Yeah, it has. So, it's very interesting to see how this race plans out in these conditions that are different to qualify. There'll be some teams a bit further back down the continent for the early stages. See if they can stay there. So we've got on pole the Mazda, but beside it we've got the Baker Burns Golf. Need to watch out for Will Stacey coming through the field from 10.
One of the most difficult things of this race initially is going to be the actually visibility within the spray, and also it's very likely that one or two, particularly the sort of lower slung sports cars, might have their screens steam up.
Yes.
Which is counterproductive.
There's the Sapler Key BMW driven by Alex Baldwin.
Was that the Honda towards the back in the Lithuanian national colour?
Yes. Just across there. Sporting the flag of his nation. And you can see there's coming around Village Hairpin.
Did well to fix the 27 overnight. That had damaged steering and suspension as a result of contact in yesterday's perfect 6-hour relay. But the only part they didn't actually have here to fix it was a bracket on the steering, the mounting bracket. And they went back to their workshop and got the right part. Managed to get it all straightened up, and they're really confident that it's fine.
Yeah, hope so. They will be going from 4th on the grid by starting the race.
He clocked a 116 BMW yesterday, and he said the first thing he did was get out and rush off to find the driver to apologise that it was entirely his fault, and braked himself on the traffic.
Well, there's going to be instances like that in the market. Several cars for 6 hours, and it did pass the few seconds relatively instantly. It was no major incidents that I was aware of.
Yeah, about 5 safety cars, but none of them lasted very long.
Absolutely. So the car's coming through Brooklands now towards the end of the lap. And we're about to get the race underway properly. The timing is going to count down to 5 minutes into the race, but we'll have some racing action for proper any moment now. The safety car has pulled in. So the cars are coming up and over the line now, and they're about to take the start of the race. Here they come then, and they accelerate away as the lights have gone out, I think, and we're off and running for 94.5 minutes of racing in this TDI Club Enduro Championship. The lead is taken at the start by the car from the outside of the front row, Rob Baker in the Volkswagen Golf. It looks like the Mazda had slotted into second place of Alan Henderson, we think probably starting that car, but already the Capture Motorsport Cupra of Mark Rice is into third position and trying to take places away from both of the first two cars. He's passed the Mazda now, he's up to second and he's going after Rob Baker.
One of those is off on the approach.
Is it the
blue releases?
It's Will Stacey there, He has started 10th, one of the championship contenders. There's no doubt dropped back as a result of that.
It was pumped up actually on the approach by the looks of things.
Okay.
The Beckett's.
Okay, so maybe they haven't even made it to the start of the race. Certainly can't see his car there as we peer through the mist and the gloom of the spray being kicked up. Not all of these cars with lights on the front of them either, which would help conditions immeasurably here.
And there are 3 in the top 20 odd with transponder issues and lots of things, including the Mazda.
Yeah, okay, so this could be interesting as the race goes on. Hopefully, the timekeeper, Terry Stevens, on his last day of racing with the 750 race, but we can get that all sorted out. A few cars struggling to find some grip there, certainly the Golf of Scott Parkin, or Dan Silvestri, I should say, in that car, making up a little bit of ground. But it's Baker leading, Rice in second, Henderson in third as they make their way past us. We're on board with Scott Parkin here, Marcus.
Yeah, the 89 car, very, very careful, feeding in power, feeding in steering. You want to minimise your input in these sort of conditions. Change there. Rather upset the balance of the car, so smoothly does it. The tyres aren't optimum temperature yet. To the Wellington straight, you can see the torque of the take it pretty even. Yeah,
you'd think that the Golf might be able to get a bit of that, but maybe a Class A car that's ahead of it. It's hard to tell who's ahead of it at the moment.
I'm not sure it's actually something actually moving inside the side, but it's a stout old gear stick in that.
So he's heading his way.
And there's the other Parkin brother. He's caught
Ryan.
He's caught Ryan.
Yeah.
This is where it gets really interesting. They're different classes, aren't they?
Yeah, it's got Class B, Ryan and Class A.
Yeah.
Ryan sharing with Dylan Richter actually. Dylan
Richter started, yeah.
So he's got his brother on track at the moment, but he's come through to complete the end of the first lap. Then it's Rob Baker leading by 7 tenths per second from Mark Rice in second. 15 hundredths behind him is the Mazda of what we think is Alan Henderson in third place. Fourth is Harvey Caton, fifth is Joel Oswald, sixth Andrew Rath, seventh Darren Ball, eighth Dylan Brooks, and ninth Scott Parkin, Dan Sylvester. Dan Sylvester is driving that car, not Scott Parkin. It says Scott Parkin on the tag, which is what confused us. And 10th and 95 by Luke.
So there's no parkings.
There's no parkings. They're parked up at the moment, or the drivers are anyway. It's Bricta versus Sylvester here at the moment. And they're close together, as are these two Coopers as well, just ahead of them. So this is Darren Ball and Andrew Rath. Rath is ahead in the 92 car with the red and blue on the front of it. About to come under pressure as well from Dylan Richter by the looks of it in car number 6, which is the car that started 6th on the
very good exit here from Richter.
Looking at the inside, in fact they're going to go 3 wide, aren't they?
They've got the Seat, they left past the red and blue.
Yep, that's right.
One. There's Andrew Rath, the Lotus driver York.
So it's Darren Ball, ex-Cup racer, and BMW cylinder racer, and Porsche racing, they've just come into things over recent seasons. So it's Cooper, which is ahead of Victor in the Audi. Then you've got Andrew Rath, 7th. In the Cooper, is he about to be 8th, because alongside him going through farm is Dan Sylvester. Sylvester has gone through there around the outside at farm corner and up into 7th position. So that's we're not enjoying these conditions too much. The car qualified 3rd has dropped back to 8th.
Yeah, Will Stacey is there down in 12th. One of the blue, there were 2 or 3 blue Lotuses often in the field.
Towards the end of the 3rd lap of this race. There you can see briefly the Joel Oswald car, number 2. He's going solo here today. He's in 5th position. Here's the battle for 6th, including Richter in the Audi and Dan Ball just ahead of him. But these 4 cars right together. Sylvester is leading Class B, of course. There's the overall race leader, not too far away from Mark Rice, isn't Rob Baker at the moment, and still the Astor very pluckily there in 3rd position as well.
Yes, talking up to the works livery that ran in the States, not on this car but on other Masters as they call it in the States. Hanging in there in 4th is Harvey Caton in that one too. Ball behind them.
About a second and a half between second and third, and between third and the gap back to Joel Oswald for about 6 seconds as things stand. Towards Stoke come the leaders then, and it looks like Bryce getting a bit closer to Rob Baker as they turned into the right-hander at Stowe that time. So the lines being taken there of him. The Mazda in third, getting away a little bit now from Harvey Kenton in 4th position as they turn their way through Vale towards Club Corner.
Don't you sense it's easier to chase than be chased as the conditions lap on lap will probably be just changing subtly. Doing well to stay inside those rumble curves and those really upset you, and that Mazda lurking in 3rd place, but lost in the spray. Poorly started by
towards Village they come then for the 4th time in this race, and so far so good for Rob Baker in the lead of the race from Mark Rice in 2nd. Mark's again a driver who's been racing at 750 Opus Hook for a number of years, graduating over time to this Cupra in Club Enduro. Still there in 3rd. Today something's back maybe position to 11, but he's lapping 11 or 12 seconds off the pace of the leads at the moment, so not seemingly getting a position to challenge the championship. reminder that these two are separated by towards 6 points going into this weekend. No, I correct myself. It was 2 points between them. So Baker will want it to stay this way, keeping ahead of Mark Rice in second position. It's Harvey Cates in third. Joel Oswick in fourth in that BMW Jim Auto Works car. And there's the Audi with Dylan Richter in sixth position.
That's right, and Darren Paul in the white feature behind.
Best lap of the race for the Mazda MX-5 in third position for a 2:35.7, a few tenths faster than the two leaders on that lap as we watch Will Stacey go through. He's now in 10th position. He's cleared the number 95 car on that lap. Luke Schleppers starting with Jabbersville Golf. And that Class B car, of course, is currently third in Class B, so second in Class B behind Dan Sylvester, the car he shares with Scott Parker, let's say. So Will Stacey, who's been successful during the course of this season so far, winning in total 3 races so far this year. So not always been able to consistently get the results that they need. He turns his way in that one Boston run car through right-hander, Stone corner, not really making much headway, much progress away from Luke Schleppert there, which is what he wanted to do. Felt a bit unsettled there.
Yeah, it did look like that. It's sort of sliding around at the front on some of the puddles. Oh, and just gone a real tweak there. It's flipped him over towards the curb, and that's going to allow the Schleppert's Golf to potentially pounce into Abbey. Having a look, but thinking better of it. It's early in the race. There's no need to make a manoeuvre at this point. Better to wait for a safe opportunity, better opportunity.
Still about 15 minutes away from the pit lane road, of course. It's 30 minutes in, I suppose it's 15 minutes before the end. Some of these drivers, like Stacey driving so low, but they will have to make this 3-minute mandatory pit stop plus a little bit more if you have penalties. True with success. So down the Wellington Straight comes number 89. That's Dante Festa in the Golf, leading Class B. We've got Danny Rack behind him, and then the Lotus, which is understeered off the circuit completely at Brooklands, going off onto the tarmac runoff area. Fortunately for him, not a particularly heavy penalty for running wide there. He keeps the plate, or does he? But around the outside of him goes Luke Schlevitz in the Golf, and yeah, Schlevitz has gone through to take the place. He's got back into the top 10. Second back B. Yeah.
And it's the Golf from the Cupra.
The MX-5 done another new best lap race of 2:34.22, 6 tenths faster than the top two.
Into traffic now. Lapping Pupiras, Tartus, first the Lithuanian driver.
It's a three-way fight for the lead we have here, really, as we are 17 minutes or so into this race. Baker and Grice, the two drivers contending for the championship, along with Paul Stacey further back. And Alan Henderson in that Mazda MX-5 is only just behind, but setting faster lap times. But they've got more traffic. We've got Edward Christie. We've also got the number 10 Ginetta that they'll need to lap very soon. That's the Rob Fennick Ginetta G40 GT5. Kindly shares with Andrew Shepherd. That's a driver that's still in contention for the Class C Championship. But I think if Devon continues to go strong in Class C, he will win that particular championship. The Class A is really up for grabs here. Looking at the penalties that these two have. Rob Baker's got a 20-second pit stop penalty to serve, and Mark Rice has no penalty to serve on pit stops. So
could be telling.
It could be. It really needs Rob Baker to be able to pull away from Grice here, doesn't it? He's not able to do that yet.
Right. Now when they were lapping the Ginetta in the that's disadvantaged the Mazda, as everyone can see. Enormous great Venturi out the back of it. Very much self-developed car to the Cave's team.
Yeah, and it's fascinating to see this one doing something different in this. It's tempting, isn't it, to get one for TCR cars or the Cupra cars that's running on the constant, or something proven like Golf. But this interpretation of the regulations is an intriguing one. It's going pretty well at the moment.
The TCR is a really good option in that you can buy parts for them. You can touching the greenery was Grice through Beckett's that time, and Baker is taking his advantage to extend his lead. It was a second at the end of the last lap. More cars to that. It's going to get pretty intense over the coming laps. Here comes Bob Baker, Motorsports boss.
Yep. And there's a lot of traffic to do with here. MX-5s. It's a Mark 3 MX-5 that they're passing now. The 100 car, the Matthew Sinarach and Mansell car for Chesterfield and Sheffield respectively.
Great dive for the Mazda, but then past its sort of less exotic cousin.
Heading down the Hamilton straight line towards the Abbey curve,
which they're going to catch the next car at a probably fairly inopportune moment.
That's the Alex Baldwin Sam McKee car that's just being lapped. Alex Baldwin at the wheel at the moment of the A328i. We've got the 6 BMW.
Mazda, they've got Mazda fame.
Well, yes, well, there wasn't him racing that car in the Mazda 7. He messaged me from the grandstand, so I'm watching myself in this race. It's in Ryan Card in the car this weekend, but the timekeepers haven't kept up with the swapping and changing of the drivers between in that shared car. So Ryan Card, it's classic stock match race with that car today. There's the 141 car, which was the late addition to the programme, which is Warren Tattersall and Dave Ward. Warren Tattersall going first in that car.
Yeah, local transport in Haulier. And the Audi behind is something a little bit different.
Yeah, that's Brad Kaler's TCR car. Audi TCR car. Looks great, doesn't it?
It does.
Running in 12th and 13th position these two. Tattersall's got ahead on this lap by the looks of it.
Yeah.
Brad Kaler. 87 Audi. Taking their way through the loop, going back towards Aintree and the Woking straight once again. The straight now, disputing 12th and 13th positions. So, the domain of Dan Sylvester, Class C. So we'll pick up David Lawrence at some point before in the 56 on the Civic Type R. He is comfortably leading in Class C. You can see one of the other FNTs there, Picras, coming through in number 20. There's the 89 car, Dan Sylvester. He's putting it back on. 481 Edward Christie as well. And that's the Fenwick and Shepherd Ginetta that's about to be lapped by Dan Sylvester too. The Darkside Golf.
Momentum car, won't it? The Ginetta small engine.
There's our Class C leader in the Civic FN2, David Lawrence, and he's scheduled on the entry list to go with Ilya Krylov today, who has shared the car with for part of the season. Although on the timesheets that we had after qualifying, it's only Lawrence that was shown on there, but certainly I think we're just Lawrence going solo today. His way through the right-hander there at Luffield towards the end of the lap, comfortably leading within class, which is what that car needs to do to wrap up the Classic Championship this year. So lap completed by the Civic. Overall, it's 25th overall. So just looking to see the cars that it's chasing down. I think that's the 240 car. That's Sapra BMW. Turquoise BMW's car. Sometimes you look at it as well. Turquoise BMW of just Sapra. The 101 car there is the Storm Camel Motorsport car of Nick Grove, the Londoner, BMW 130i. That's within Class B. There's 3 classes here, split on power to weight basis. The cars in Class A are up to 300 brake horsepower per tonne. Split for Class B is at 240, and Class C at 180 brake horsepower per tonne. And there's also the Cup and Cup for older cars. It's 10 years older than normal. But this is just Sapra now, who was out in the Burkitt relay yesterday, showing that car today with Brian Branson and Kevin Clark. So they've actually shown it 3 ways, so it's going to stymie their chances of an overall position enough to make an extra pit stop.
Exactly. They had a miserable day, didn't they, yesterday, with all kinds of dramas. Kevin Clark was out really, really early. Just Sapra was out very early in his session.
So news from the pit lane is that Will Stacey's front splitter has broken. We haven't spotted that on the stream. We'll have to have another look at that in a moment.
He clattered over the curb at Beckett's opening lap.
Yeah, so they're hoping to get that car in early to fix that. And I'm pretty sure it is messaging me that news from the pit lane. We just saw there the Mazda MX-5 being lapped. That's the bench Dalton Stewart Much car, in addition to the digital program R71, also running Class B bench the multiple Mazda MX-5 Five Club Racing champion. Showing his car with the freaky parts man. Sapra flying the flag of India on his car. As he makes his way through Westgate corner to complete another lap. Looks like India might come out on top in the cricket against England today as well, by the looks of the score at the moment.
It appears there's a sort of a widening, we call it a dry line, there's an improving line. And there, is that a change at
Leeds, yeah.
Brooklands? Well, not much room being given there coming into Luffield.
No, and
spoon-shaped corner, but Rob Baker arrested the lead back.
He did. It looked like he was going to lose out to Mark Rice there for the overall lead of the race, but Baker has arm wrestled him out of the way. So it's Baker still leading in car number 1 from second number 27 West. Oh, and problems for number 6. That's Dylan Brichter. He's parked up now. The Audi TT is out of the race here. It doesn't look like Ryan Parkin is going to get a go here. Dylan Brichter pulled up on the side of the road on lap 9 of the race. Let's stay with the leaders though, because they are picking up the pace now here, aren't they? And as they fly through Beckett's corner on that lap, actually beached the best lap of the race, a 2:33.33 compared to a 2:34.27 for Rob Baker. And we've got a race on at the front of the field here.
Yep, and 2 cars from the VAG group, the Volkswagen and the Seat Stroke Cupra, which looks quick and straight line, it has to be said. Tucked in behind race leader Rob Baker.
We're going to head out there now.
Certainly does. Down towards Vale they go then. 2 leaders on this track that is still spray being kicked up, but not as much as there was in the very early stages of this race 20 minutes or so ago. It's about 4, maybe 6 car lengths between Baker and Beach as they come to it. That's where the Brichter car stopped, down there in the pit lane, and that's the view from on board the Darkside Developments car. Situation not developing particularly favourably for Brichter. That car out of the race and in the wrong pit lane for any work to be done on it. It's in the international pit lane at the wing rather than the national pit lane at this end of the circuit on the start and finish straight.
The Scott Parkin car, sister car, still leads B in the hands of Dan Sylvester. And here's the tricky situation for because there's two cars compromising his exit from Aintree onto the Wellington Straight, and that allowed Mark Grice to read it just a little bit better. He had more time to work out where he was going to go, and he's back on the rear bumper of Area Motorsport boss Rob Baker.
Yeah, the cars they passed, one of them was David Lawrence, the Class C leader. The other was the Holden Civic Type R of Manoj Patel and Tom Gannon. Not sure who started that car, didn't get that information. So, quick rundown on the order. 1, Rob Baker leads, 27, Mark Rice second, 90, Alan Henderson third, 82, Harvey Caton is fourth, number 2, Joel Oswick is fifth, number 6 is 25, Darren Bowles, 7th is Dan Sylvester in the Golf, 8th is 92, Andrew Rath, 9th is Luke Schlevitz in number 95, in the Golf. Running out the top 10 is number 48, Will Stacey. Third of the Class B cars is Chris Plaskett.
Straight on over the Beckett's flick-flack by the looks of things.
Yeah, and that was the race leader, and he's actually come out of that with a bigger lead than he had when he went in, I think.
Yeah, he maximised that one, and I think also Mark Grice, in his sense, probably backed off, not knowing where Baker was going to come back onto the circuit.
There's the little 74 Lotus, Campbell Cassidy and Matt Joington car. Now, the Storming Campbell Motorsport car is just ahead of the race leader now, Rob Baker. Yeah, Rob Baker was started lap, led by just about 6 tenths of a second.
It's back down to next to nothing, isn't it?
It is. So it's pretty academic, that.
It ebbs and flows when they catch traffic a lot of the time. What's good for one of them tends to inconvenience the other, and then it all kind of unravels next time through.
Right.
Ooh, that was a wide exit of there for Mark Grice.
Right, pit lane window should be open around about now, I would have thought, because we are 30 minutes into the race. So teams can start to take their pit stops any moment now.
Of course, it's here where that differential between the success ballast that the Golf is carrying and the car in second place, which doesn't, if I remember correctly, have a penalty.
That's right. Yes, it's really important here for Rob Baker to try and make a break, and he's got a few car lengths now, but he needed really 20 seconds is the penalty he's going to serve at the first pit stop. So he might, if he can start to make a bit of a break, try and stay out there a reasonable length of time to spur that up. But he's got Bradley Burns to get in the car in the second half of the race. Bradley's an equally quick driver.
He's got it a little bit out of shape there, having to fight it. The back just broke away a little for Rob Baker at the spoon-shaped corner, Luffield. And through Woodcut they come.
Yeah, to complete lap 11 of the race.
It's got out to over a second, bizarrely, because it's been close again during the middle stage of that lap.
Right, there's Will Stacey, number 48. He's been up to lap Cam Walton in the number 50 Toyota Yaris. That's a Class B car for the drive from Penfield, did some racing in Australia as well.
He's got Tattersall, I think that was, behind him, wasn't it?
Yeah,
here we go, that's right. Tattersall.
Also in there is the 66 car of Paul Sabiani and Johnny Hayes. And also going past the 50 car, so I think that must be for position as well. Further back, yes it is, for 31st position. Hamilton being passed by the Class C car there. And the Yaris that hasn't had much running in the last year or so. Teams preparing in the pits.
Take your pick of your gun.
So side by side in between those two, here we've got a good little battle going on here between David Lawrence and a car from the class above him, the 112 car, the 112 car of Mark Purcell and Tom Gannon.
Yeah, different eras of Honda Civic, EP3 in front.
Yeah. The FN2 behind, which was built by TQR.
Haven't seen the Honda NSX out.
No, we've not. So that's been out with us in the past as well. 67 there is Julian McBride, and here's BMW and M3. So this is a battle for position between the three of them, 23rd, 24th, 25th. They're battling over. So that's a nice one to see. Joel Oswick's relatively quiet race in 5th position. He's got 15 seconds ahead of him, about 15 seconds behind him as well. So a relatively quiet race for Joel, who was last year's champion from Class C in the Tequila Club Enduro Championship. Here's that battle coming towards us. So Julio McBride has got himself between Manoj Patel or Tom Gannon and David Lawrence now. As they head through. Julio McBride should go a bit faster in a straight line, but is he going to be better on the brakes down into Village? No, and I think there, twisted bits, David Lawrence is going to come back at the BMW now. A lighter car, a bit more agile, but possibly will be lacking for horses up the Wellington straight that follows. Can Julian McBride steal a march on both of them? He's pulled out of the slipstream to the left-hand side of the circuit. He's got Joel Oswick coming up behind him to lap him as well. Is McBride going to clear both of those cars? Yes, he is, and he will go to 23rd position, I think, as Joel Oswick slots himself past the two battling Hondas as well. It looks like Lawrence takes advantage of that to go past the Patel Gannon car too.
Yep, wholesale changes. Out front, it's back inside a second between Rob Baker, 1:27, which is Mark Grice.
Grice has just done another fastest lap of the race at 2:32.90, and the gap between Grice in second, the MX-5 in third of Alan Henderson, is nearly 10 seconds now. As we watch the Dan Sylvester, number 89, Darkside Developments Golf, the sole remaining Darkside car in this race, making its way through, and this is going to be going, it's actually just lost out to Andrew Rath, who, and into the pits now comes Dan Sylvester. So into the pits comes Dan Sylvester, first of the people making a mandatory stop in this race, I think, so we'll stay on board with him for the moment. Mindful of the pit lane speed limit of 60 kilometres per hour. You can see if that's readout is right on the dash, he's doing about 57-58 kph now. Not wanting to incur the wrath of the officials with a speed gun. So there's the Darkside car. You see it parked in at 45-degree angle. That's part of the regulations. Cars can't just drive straight in, and they have to be then pushed back by the team before they can get back out into the race. But that's not going to happen for a little while, because it's a 3.5 minute stop that has to be made here. So there's no need for the team to rush, and they do look relatively relaxed about how they're going about their business here. Brad Kaler's Audi, you can see is heading into the pit lane as well. The fuel jug is marked diesel, of course, because it's a diesel Golf here for the Class B league, the specialism of Darkside Developments. Diesel tuning.
Here's the lead tussle. The duel continues into lap 14. And the gap between them got back down to under 0.6 of a second by Bryce. And you can see for yourself, actually, I reckon there's more spray now than there was a few laps ago.
Yeah, there is, and they're coming here to lap number 78, which is Matthew Stockford, who's in 19th place, the former Paralympic skier. He's continuing his racing career. Scott Parkin now gets his way into the golf. Reasonably leisurely entrance to the car. Team's making sure he's all strapped in and ready to go. The Darkside car will be back out in a couple of minutes, one would think. But 3.5 minutes stationary, possibly 30 seconds in and out of the pit lane. So it's about a 4-minute stop. So you're going to lose about a lap and a half here, aren't you, in these pit stops?
Something like that, as we're on to, 2 minutes 32, the best laps of the first two cars. And the Mazda in third place, 2:33 is its best.
Dan Sylvester's out of the car, as you can see in the background, instantly recognisable. Nobody else in the paddock would sport that haircut. I can't talk.
we don't have enough of it. That's the problem.
Exactly.
Yeah. If only we could.
Quite. Lap 14 of the race that we are running now. Interesting to see an early stop here for the Darkside development car. So Scott Parker is going to have about an hour's driving in this race. He's going to have about 2/3 of it, so 1/3 for Dan Silvestre, who's got another race to come anyway in an hour or so for the hot hatches.
We're trying to do a double, weren't you? Because you won the early one.
Yeah, that's right, and hopefully getting more racing laps in it as well. So the team carefully timing the stock. You see James Winstanley from the 750 Motor Club down there as well. He'll be keeping an eye on the stopwatch as well. Into the pits comes Jazz Safra in the 240 car, so he's going to hand over to either Kevin Clark or Brian Branson. And they're split in the driving three-way, so it makes sense that they're coming in after about half an hour to split the driving pretty equally. Meanwhile, Baker has come through again to complete that 14 now. Gap's got out to 0.8 of a second on that lap. Meanwhile, Scott Parkin is being pushed into the pit lane and back out into the race. There he goes. Heading down the pit lane, past the green light. End of the speed limit, and back into the race he will go. And there's the Blackada car also making its exit from the pit lane.
Oh, look at this. Two BMW have done very sensible and stayed in sort of the middle of the track, haven't they?
Oh, and off goes the leader. The leader's off the circuit onto the grass on the hanger straight. Rob Baker rejoins now. They went either side of the BMWs, but it's Will Beat, Mark Rice, I should say, that's benefited from that, taking the lead.
And it was the compact there, wasn't it? 66 and Dave Griffin, they were lapping. And the two BMWs just sat in the middle of the road and were quite happy to let the TCR type cars go each side of them. And the next thing we saw from a different camera angle was that leader Rob Baker was autocrossing.
I wonder if that's going to prompt a pit stop very soon now, because there's some grass that has, hopefully not got into anywhere it shouldn't do. But he did well to keep it on the island, really.
Yeah, he did.
Because that grass would be very treacherous at the moment. And he is losing the lead. So it was 0.8 of a second he led by at the start of the lap, and he's got now a couple of back markers between himself and the new race leader, Mark Rice. Rice, of course, along with Will Beach, looking to take enough points here to win the championship, taking away from Rob Baker and Bradley Burns. Carl Swift, I think, was in the car right in the beginning of the season as well. Rob Baker's just had the one win so far this year. That came at Snetterton with Bradley Burns. Let's head down to the pit lane now. Josh Barrett is going to be down there. Who's he got?
So we're down here in the pit lane after the first lot of pit stops, and Dan Silvestre, new car for you and a good first stint in tricky conditions.
Yeah, it was a good first stint. Managed to get in front of the class, getting the class lead, and yeah, it was all over the shop a bit because thought we were all going to get 2 green flag laps and we only got 1, so it was all a bit scattered at the start. But yeah, the car feels mega. It's the golf last weekend, so appreciate Scott letting me take it out, and hopefully he can bring home a win.
It's obviously been a very successful car for Scott, so your first time racing it. Okay, the conditions aren't ideal, but what do you think of it?
It's a brilliant car, yeah, I really like it. I've driven it on track before, on track days, and it's really good. For a diesel Golf, that's what you've got to remember what it is, it's a diesel Golf, so yeah, it's wicked.
You mentioned there that it's the last time for the car, so can you tell us about the plans for the team for next year?
Oh, well, I might be revealing secrets there, I don't know, but I'm grateful to Scott for letting me take it out anyway, because I'm currently in the top 10 on Autosport nationally. That's why he's let me drive it. If I get a couple of wins this weekend, I might be up near the top, so that's why I'm here. So thanks a lot to Scott for letting me take his car out. It's been a pleasure.
And obviously you're quite new to racing really, but this year you've driven so many different types of cars. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I've been in the MR2 and the Darkside TT and my Civic, and yeah, I just discovered a few years ago that I really like driving, and racing's the kind of ultimate way to do that on a weekend. So yeah, I'm loving it. It's been good.
And obviously you broadcast it all online as well, your weekend. That's quite a big effort to put in, but quite rewarding with those sorts of viewers.
Yeah, I enjoy making videos almost as much as I enjoy driving. So yeah, it's great. It's all good.
Well, best of luck for the rest of racing. Good luck later on as well.
Thank you.
So there is Dan Silvestre out the number 89 Class B Volkswagen Golf TDI.
Right, Josh, you need to head down the pit lane towards the garage where Team 1 Area Motorsport are. Rob Baker's brought his car into the pit lane now to hand over to Brad Burns after he had that off earlier on that lap. Along the hanger straight as he was trying to negotiate back markers. Into the leader's gone Mark Rice, leading by 3.6 seconds at the end of that, but that will increase of course to around about 11 seconds because the car will move up to P2 with the Alan Henderson Master MX-5. Up to third place will go Harvey Caton in the Seat Cupra. Up to fourth will go number 2 Joel Osborne in the BMW M4. Up to fifth will go number 25 Darren Ball in the Cupra. And the Seat Leon Eurocup car, of Andrew Rath, will be in sixth place once all of this washes out. There is Scott Parkin. And there is Chris Plaskett, number 91. Well, that car has stopped, well, it's in the pit lane, isn't it? Right at the end of the pit lane, by the looks of it, the Area Motorsport end of the pit lane. And that's the car that was in 14th place before the stops, and I think 3rd in Class B.
Chris Plaskett of Hamptons, Surrey, car dealership business. Based on the Surrey Hampshire borders. Here comes the 22, the Browse family BMW with that slot in the roof, diplomatic.
Yeah, Luke Browse at the wheel of that car at the moment. Charlie Dark at the wheel of the 235 car. There's the 19 Lotus going through as well. That's the Class B car of Peter Mansfield driving around to Michael Sanford.
I'm right in saying the last time I saw Crown paint inside the race car was probably on Warren Booth's Chevron Formula 2 car in the Aurora Championship.
That's quite a few years ago.
Yes, back in the 70s.
So that's the Stockford Audi, number 78, going through. And also out there is the number 42 Lotus. We could see that's Michael Anastasi. Lotus at 111R, the driver from Edinburgh.
So a longer stop, we're waiting for that. There's Baker, the Baker Burns car now. Brad Burns at the wheel.
Yeah, that was should have been at least a 3-minute 20-second pit stop, of course, because of the penalty that they had to serve. So that car got back out into the race. This Plaskett car is already back out into the race. Class B contender, also an Area Motorsport prepared car. And was rejoined a lap or so down. There's the erstwhile leader though, Brad Burns now, the wheel of that number 1 car. Yeah, we would have lost around about a lap and a half, I think, after making that stop. Which would probably somewhere around, I don't know, 17th, 18th. We'll have to see exactly where it feeds in.
Yes, it's still dropping at the moment because of course the others to finish their 16th lap and only halfway around it.
That's right. Making its way down towards the Vale now. So hitting on about 55 minutes of racing here off the 100. Oh, and the Plaskett car's now gone off. It was out of the pit lane and it's now hit the barriers by the looks of it there, Marcus.
Front barrier at the front end, and that's where it is. Got to be a safety car situation.
I'm sure the team is going to be keeping an eye on that situation.
This is rather steroidal Janetta 14, which is the Livesley and the Primrose car.
Just a reminder, pit stops cannot be taken under safety car conditions. If you are in, you're in, but you cannot make one safety car will come out today. There will be teams, I'm sure, looking at the stream and looking at opportunities like that that might present themselves, because if you can effectively make a bit of a free stop with the safety car, then that's good strategy.
And also if you've got extra time to serve as a result of previous results.
That's right, it becomes even more of a bonus, doesn't it, to be able to take it.
Brucey Burnett, indeed.
Absolutely. So, class positions, Class B being led still by Luke Schlevitt now, of course, after Dan Sylvester came in, and second in Class B now is actually the MX-5 of Ben Short. Class C being led by David Lawrence, is up to 19th overall now. The other cars have made their pit stops ahead. Matthew Baldry is second within that class, and he is around about a minute behind David Lawrence already. They do have similar Fin2 Civics at their disposal. Brad Kaler car, that's one that's made its stop, so it's a bit further back down the order. 29th it is, having made its pit stop. The Bradley Burns car had completed its 16th lap, and it's done so in 14th position. So 14th place he has come through. Effectively very nearly 2 laps behind the leader though, Mark Bryce, who's yet to make his stop. To watch Brad Kaler come through. Got the Mazda just ahead of him on the road. That is the treble 3 car, it may well be, of Michael Cooper. Watch the cars make their way down through. Yes, and just ahead of that is the Yaris of Cam Walton. Seen that in LR2s in the past as well. There's the Gannon and Manoj Patel road-going Honda Civic, and there is the race leader, Mark Rice, almost halfway through this race now, 50 minutes left to go of the 100-minute race. What was the gap first to second? About 11 seconds.
That's been pretty consistent for times.
Interesting, they're lapping the 235s the first two. About 3 seconds or so off what they are capable of, and maybe that is just the traffic.
And I think it has become kind of crucial.
Yeah, it's in that sort of a very tricky phase now, isn't it? Where it's neither full wet or full dry. It's just greasy and very difficult to read.
There's a 95 car. That's the Schlevitz Java Sport Golf. That's running in 8th place.
As we are now halfway through the race, there's a couple of cars going into the pit lane. The number 7 Mazda of Roger Sparrow in 23, Matthew Baldry. I'm going to quick run down on the order. It is 27 that is leading. Mark Rice will beat in the Seat Cupra. Second, number 90, Daniel Irving, Alan Henderson in the Mazda. Third, number 82, Ben Williams, Harvey Cater in the Cupra. Fourth, number 2, Joel Oswick in the BMW M4. Fifth, number 25, Darren Ball in the Cupra. Sixth, number 141, Warren Tafstall, Dave Ward in the Euro Cup, Stella in Euro Cup. Similar car for number 92 in 7th place, Phil Neville, Andrew Raff. 8th, number 95, leading class B, Luke Schnavitz coming from the Golf. 9th, number 40, James Collins, Brett Lidsey in the M3. 10th, number 22, Paul and Luke Browse in the BMW E46 M3 GTR. And then second in class B, Ben Short, Stuart Much in 15th. Third in class B, Nick Grove, Carlo Turner in the BMW. They've yet to make their stops though. Class C being led by number 56, David Lawrence. From number 23, Matthew Porter and James Johnston. And the third of the cars within the class is the Thomas Stedman Michael Hooper Mazda MX-5. 48 3/4 minutes of the race left to go. Pit stops well underway. That looks like the number 23, James Johnson, Matthew Baldry Honda being refueled there. There's the Johnny Hayes and Paul Subiani BMW 318. Looks like they're changing a wheel on that one. Got different tread pattern on the one that they're taking off, so they're going to a drier tyre by the looks of it for the remaining phase of the race. They had 4 wets on by the looks. It's not exactly Formula 1 speeds.
Doesn't need to be with a 3-minute stop, does it?
no, nor does it need to be.
Unicorn was on the start of the race. Not sure what's going back on now.
Down the pit road of the BMs. It's fascinating watching it work.
There's a team observer screaming 2 minutes 20 in the background.
No, not putting pressure on the team at all.
Not at all, no.
Come on, faster!
On the old guns.
So that was just going through shot there, the race leader Mark Bryce, 10 seconds. Has that come down a bit on that?
Yeah, 8 seconds.
Yeah, to Alan Henderson and Mazda there. It's actually got an empty track Stowe at the moment. There's the Patel and Gannon Honda making its way through, but it's a long gap before we see anybody else. 141 car, that's the addition to the programme. Car running in sync now, the Tattle and Ward car. And there on screen now, for those of you watching on live stream, number 95, Rick Schlevitz in the Java Sport Golf.
Then we spotted there was a change in the BMWs. Luke Browse has taken the 22, the bright green car, the Stowe Michael Clark car, past the Collins and Lidsey 40.
Yes, that's
and it's close behind. David Griffin's pretty close in there with the Darks as well.
Only about a second behind, isn't he? At this stage of the race. 95 there is the Glover car lapping Julian McBride's BMW. You can just see Alex Baldwin heading down the pit lane as well. Hand over to Sam McKee. There is the Brad Burns car number 1. Now it was 14th, it is still 14th at the moment, so it's not made up any more places. It's about 24 seconds behind the Matthew Stockford Audi.
That's Joel Oswick's BMW behind, which is running in 4th place.
Okay, so enough fuel going into the Hayes and Subbiani car. I think this is going to go over the minimum pit stop, which is going to be 3 minutes 20 for this team because of their penalty. Yeah, they're going to be well over 3 minutes 20, I think. Still fuel going into the car. And Johnny Hayes will be out of the race.
Another luggage about to happen.
Yeah, we need to get some more fuel into the car as well to make sure it can get to the end. It's got 45 minutes to do to get to the end of the race, so make sure we've got enough in the tanks.
20 laps, and the Mazda is a couple of seconds closer to the leading 27 car, so it's Mark Wright still ahead. 90, the Henderson Irving Mazda 8.2 seconds behind, and also on 20 laps the 82 car of Harvey Caton.
It's the Alex Baldwin Sam McKee car. Sam McKee due to get into it shortly. Number 36, competing within Class C this weekend. And there's the battle we talked about a moment ago.
Yeah, Aussie David Griffin pushing on in the Western Motorsports BMW in that Diet Coke Aussie touring car delivery. Oh dear, 30 going to the gravel trap.
That's Neil Huggins in the XE, driver from Hemel Hempstead. He's had a moment.
But he is back out of the gravel trap, just visited.
Felix Griffin continuing to put pressure on Charlie Dark at the moment. This for the final position inside the top 10 as things stand. These drivers yet to make their pit stops though.
Different eras of BMW M3. Charlie Dark in Karen Page's car. A much smaller through gear car of Dave Griffin, who while Charlie Dark rides over the curb on the outside of Clough, takes advantage and tucks up the inside into Abbey Corner, taking that place away.
Much wider car, isn't it? The more modern one, the M235. That is the way cars have gone, as we know, much wider, longer, more difficult to get parking spaces.
You would have thought with greater air resistance it would not be as fuel efficient, but it's also stronger because there's more metal work around its occupants.
That's right.
The road version, blessed with full gauges.
Exactly. So down painted car, looking splendid, but losing out to Dave Griffin there in the M3 up ahead. A little battle going on. I think not for position necessarily, because Harvey Caton, the number 82 car, is the car that's in third place at the moment, Cupra. There's the
we saw with Browse behind.
There's the Stormy Camel car. Follow Turner's going to get into that one, I think. They've started the car.
And again, a few tenths nibbled back by the driver of the Mazda 82. That's Caton in from third place.
Yeah, that's into the pit lane now. So we're watching the 101 BMW 1 Series be fuelled. To get that back out into the second half of the race. Now, I don't know if that's right or not, but we've got a new fastest lap of the race. A 2-minute 30 for the 240 car, which is the car started by Giles Sapper. It's now either Kevin Clark or Brian Branson at the wheel. And if that's right, 2:30.57, that's a second and a half faster than anybody else has managed during the course of this race. The car is down in 18th position. They didn't have a particularly strong start to the race. So, but nevertheless, on our time experience at the moment, that is now the best lap of the race at 2:30.57 for either Kevin Clark or Brian Branson. Kevin Clark.
Very Darth Vader, isn't it?
It is. Slightly sinister. Appearance, the silver helmet and the reflective goggles. Perhaps know that individual's identity. Here's Charlie Dark in the Crown Paints car.
Tattersalls moved up into 5th place in his Seat. Warren Tattersall in 141. And 19 into the pits now.
It's the Peter Mansfield Lotus. He'll hand over to Michael Sanford. Into the pits as well comes the Mazda from second place. So the Mazda into the pits from second place. Alan Henderson with an hour of the race gone, 40 minutes of the race left to go. Now, hopefully we'll get a view on that in the pit lane in a moment, see whether we're going to get a driver change in that car. I think it was Alan Henderson that started. That's Josh was down there as well to let us know what's going on. Just reminded me I should have been phoned if you sent me any more messages. The problem with the Dylan Brichter Ryan Parkin TT, by the way, was a blown injector. That's now being fixed. So hopefully that car will get back out again.
Nothing at all on track. Peaceful here at Silverstone.
Yeah, absolutely right. Luke Brown's coming into the pit lane now, I can see, in the number 22 car. There's a slightly bit busier pit lane now. There's 7 or 8 cars there inside the top 10. There's the number 1 car through. That's now back up into 8th position, Bradley Burns in the Golf. As many as other cars have made their stops ahead of it, I think, rather than making up much track position. He's lapping faster than a few of the cars ahead. I don't know whether that's because a few of them have gone to the pits. But talking of the pits, let's head down to Josh Barrett and see who he's got to talk to this time.
So you can see the AK Automotive Mazda MX-5 made its way down to the pit lane, and Alan Henderson out of the car, but the bonnet has been put up, so potential dramas for this car that's had such a good opening stint on a car that's had lots of development over the year, trying to get it to be quick, which it certainly is today, but also reliable, which has been the issue up to now. And Alan Henderson himself getting involved with whatever the repair that is necessary here. The piping has been loosened by the looks of things. Daniel Irving is being strapped into the car, so they're hoping to get the car back out. A replenishment of fluid possibly here. Hopefully you've got a good view of that. Both Ian and Marcus might be able to describe better than what my particular vantage point is, but they're rushing to try and get this done within the 3-minute period. That is the minimum pit stop time, but it looks like that could be difficult. As more cars make their way down the pit lane, it's pretty crowded down here because they're all making their way down into the pits, all in a sort of a small section. So a lot of the teams having to discuss with their fellow garage team to make sure that they don't don't pit at the same time where it should be too crowded. So the engine has been refired on the Mazda. Meanwhile, the number 19 Lotus is making its way out. Peter Mansfield started that one. And it should be Mike Stanford taking it out. So that's another one that's headed back out onto the circuit.
Thanks, Josh. Edward Christie we could see in the pit lane there. There is the Alan Stockford 78 Audi, going past the Crown Paint Charlie Dark 235 car, and that I don't think is for position, because I think
that is Stockford going in, was it? No, it's the other one, 235 going in, that's the Dark. In Charlie Dark starting.
It was for police actually, although they've now gone in. Dan Irving now about to head out in the Mazda by the looks of it. Back out into the pit lane and back out into the race with 36 minutes left to go.
Maybe Josh can find out what's actually happening. Pumping some oil on the top of the engine, and for the second bit of pumping, but I couldn't see where the first nozzle was going. I think it is for the first time.
235 in then, Charlie Dark into the pit lane. Now there is Will Stacey now. He was in for an early stop, wasn't he? Where is he? Well, now he's 18th at the moment, so not really in contention.
Baker and Burns are up to 6th in the number 1 car.
And there's Grat in the front of the air intake there and the radiator on that car. So I think Will Stacey's been off somewhere, and that may well necessitate another pit stop to just try and clear that out. Yes, that's from the early part of the race.
Yeah, it's sort of on the splitter, isn't it? Doesn't seem to be impeding the radiator.
Into the pits, we can see 95 has come from 5th place, the Class B leader Luke Schlevitz, to hand over to his teammate Kevin Glover. But there's Stacey. Winner, I think 3 times during the course of the season. All the winners this year have been Rob Baker, Mark Bryce of Beecher from 1, and Luke Sargent and Josh Files, who were in the invitation class, had a win as well. That was at Spa-Francorchamps on the annual foreign jaunt for Club Giro. So the car's heading down towards the Vale once again. That's the 56 car, Class C leader, David Lawrence. He's running at 21st at the moment. I don't think he's made a stop as yet, which he will need to. He's leading Class C. No, maybe, I think he must have made a stop. He's less than a lap ahead of the Johnson car as we're watching a Lotus go slowly. Star Pacific picking up a little bit of speed, doesn't it, as it comes out of Woodcote Corner. It's the 47 car for Robert Sciglio as we head down to Josh Brown once again.
So we're down here with Alan Henderson out of the absolutely awesome Mazda MX-5. Alan, a really good stint. We'll come to that in a minute. In the pit stop, you had to go to work in the engine. Was there any issues there?
Just a little bit heavy on oil breathing. We thought we may have fixed it, but clearly not, because it's still filling the catch can a bit more than we'd like, and when the oil level gets down, we start getting dips in oil pressure on the brakes, so we need to make sure we've got some back in the engine, otherwise end of engine.
Tell us a bit about this car. They've been locked trying to get the car out so many times this year. Snedden went well, and then I think a suspension issue, but today things seem to be going a little bit better.
Yeah, it's going better. I mean, the car was so unique. End of last year we were supposed to go testing, we didn't. So we've been testing through this year, finding all the little issues, and when it's going well, but still got some little issues to iron out there. I chose the wrong tyres there as well, to be fair. Started on wets, which is probably the tyre at the start, but as it's dried, it's too greasy. The tyres aren't really working that well, but I can't be bothered to change them, so we've got what we've got.
I guess this is like the furthest the car's gone in race conditions anyway, so that's the main thing, I guess, today, trying to get the car to get to the end.
Yeah, I mean, after Donington, we failed on the test day at Donington, we thought that would be it for the year. We managed to get all the bits together to fix it, and we thought we'll let the Silverstone, see if we can get a full race length under a belt, and then try and build on that next year.
Because the car had been developed, it's a Mark 1 Mazda, I understand.
Mark 1, yeah.
So it's a massive development to get it to where it is now. Tell us what the team have done to the car if you can.
Well, engine-wise is still MX-5, not massive power, it's about 300 horsepower. Suspension-wise is 50mm wider, it's got big wheels so we can get big brakes, because brakes are normally an issue over a long time on an MX-5. BMW DCT gearbox, because gearboxes are a bit of an issue on MX-5, so went with that. So it's a bit like a PlayStation, just pulling gears. It's good.
And the livery on it, it really makes it, doesn't it? I think it's an old IMSA livery.
It is, yeah. We weren't sure what to do with the livery, and I just saw I like blue cars and I like white cars, and I saw that livery and I thought, perfect, we'll go for that. It just stands out.
And obviously you race Mazda MX-5s in one mate racing. Is this a very different car to drive with all the developments?
It couldn't be further. I mean, to be fair, it still has some traits of a Mark 1 MX-5. It's just everything's happening a lot faster. But then obviously with the aero, the high speed stuff's completely different.
And obviously in a race situation you stand out a little bit there against the front wheel drive cars. You seem, it was only that first bar, I know you said you wanted to practice different tyres, but in the first bar you seem to be keeping on quite well.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad, to be fair. I was a bit ginger on the brakes because we haven't got ABS, so I was conscious not to be locking up, and I was fiddling with brake bias trying to get that balance nice. And then once we started getting into the traffic, I lost a little bit there, and then I was kind of holding station a bit, and then the tyres started to feel like they were dropping away, but I was catching, I think it's Will that's in the car and the TCR, I was starting to catch gradually again towards the end there. We'll see what Dan does.
And now, like you said, you're planning now for a full season next year?
Yeah, I mean, it was supposed to be a full season this year, but obviously that hasn't went well, so yeah, if we can get the full race under a belt, we'll get on top of this engine breathing issue, and hopefully we'll just keep going.
Thanks for having a chat. Everyone likes the car here on the commentary team, so it's great to have it here. So there's Alan Henderson out of that number 90 Mazda MX-5, which we know now a little bit more about, and about their issues in the pit stop.
Thanks very much, Josh. In the meantime, we've got Mark Rice still leading the way in the number 27 Cupra, and that's the car in second place now. Number 2, Joel Oswick, who is a minute 43 behind the lead, so thick end of a lap behind. There's Will Stacey, who's in 14th place, a couple of laps down on the race leader. There's the Mazda. We're just talking to Alan Henderson, who drove the car for the first 2/3 of the race.
Lapping quicker than a couple of cars ahead by about 5 seconds a lap at this point.
Yeah, so we'll see how Dan Irving goes. He's running in 7th place at the moment, having made that pit stop. Brad Kaler with the number 87 Audi just behind for the moment.
Yeah, that's done 15th place. It's a lap adrift of the ladders.
Yeah, indeed. Fastest car out there though is still the number 240 E36 M3 with either Kevin Clark or Brian Cranston record. I don't know if Josh can find out who is driving that car. It was Jad Sack for the first part of the race, but with Kevin O'Brien, it is going great guns that car and lapping, well, a second faster than Brad Burns is, for example, in the no, for about 3 seconds faster than Brad Burns is at the moment in the Golf. So the next fastest man out there right now. Here's Joel Oswick. Going past a couple of the Lotuses into. There is the car that's fastest at the moment, the 240 car. It is running in 9th position now. Was about 5 seconds behind the car. It's about to overtake, I think, at the start of the lap. So that is 4th position. It's for 8th position now, ahead of the Ben Williams and Harvey Caton Cooper. That has been in, hasn't it?
Yeah, they've got their tyre choice right. It looks things. This is feel like it's on rails at the moment.
It does, doesn't it? So that's why it's going so quickly now. So that's a car that's forging its way into contention. That's the Yaris that's getting some fuel on board.
Matthew Stopford into the pits from 5th place in car 78. So in 3rd is the Tattersall Award. We've got local man Warren Tattersall. 141.
Here is that BMW just Sacrist car heading down towards us with either Clark or Branson at the wheel, making its way through the left-hander. And now the right-hander at Luffield corner, and accelerating now towards the right-hander at Woodcote with the sun beaming down on Silverstone now. The rain has gone. Looks like quite a pleasant afternoon out there again now, but still the track drying. The one we had before lunch. So not as quick that time actually for the BMW. Now there is the car that is still leading. It's still out there. Mark Wright, 27.
Still sporting the evidence of the damage from yesterday's 6-hour race when the front corner was ripped out of it. Contact with the BMW. Going a couple of quick laps going in. The Niven Rath 92. It's like the 2:35, 2:29. You say is the quickest of all currently. Brad Bird's doing 2:31s. A few more changes of order in the next 5 or 6 laps, I would think. Still with 26.5 minutes to go. That's Joel Oswick. The 2 BMW, that's running in second place.
I'm just putting a lap on Will Stacey in the Lotus there already. Not quite as they go through Aintree. Lotus a bit more agile.
They were together here last time round, weren't they? So the other Lotus for company.
Yeah.
Oswick looking for space to go past the Lotus, but tried to outbrake him. The Lotus weighs about half, I should think, of the BMW. Backing from personal backing from Mr. Stanley, head of the Stanley Company. Wonderful enthusiasm.
Genuine riding in the number 67 car now.
Oswick
heading in, yeah. And there is only about 10 minutes or so of the pit lane window being open, so about 4 laps. So we haven't got too much time to play with there. He's going to be timed out of his mandatory stop. So that's going to promote briefly, I think, the Tassel Ward car.
Dave Griffin in.
From 6th place.
In number 6. 6 laps down for Griffin.
So looking at it, once the stops have played out, the question is going to be, is the Brad Burns car going to be behind the beach car? Because Oswick and Tassel, the 2 cars between them in the classification.
Way off track. The say out at the back of the picture.
Phil Nibb that now is in the number 92 car in 10th place.
Coming onto the Wellington Straight.
Just behind Paul Browse, who's taken over the Stowmarket Pass BMW.
Interesting that the Mazda, the number 90 Mazda, is going to profit from a couple of cars that have currently making their stops, including this one.
Some more Diet Coke being added to the 134 car. David Griffin.
I always thought the car might run on Diet Coke. Who knows? Something people missed.
Could be the holy grail for the future of the internal combustion engine.
Somehow I think that. Very good for pinning a pennies.
Yes. So there's the 90 car. That's the car of Dan Irving now. So he's running 6th at the moment. So after the pit stops, he is.
We've got to about 4th, I think, again in a minute.
Yeah, but he's lost out to the Burns car quite heavily in the stops, I think.
Yes, that's up to 3rd again now.
Yeah. I think it was a longer stop than it ought to have been for the Mazda, as Alan Hansen was describing the reasons for. The issues with the oil needing to be repatriated from the catch tank. That's the number 90 car, Michael Sanford should say. There's the 2 car Oswick in the pit lane, the German Auto Works car. My bicycle house. His proprietors as well at Donington, having come over from the States. The 240 car looks like it's been an out of the bit of gain, so the quickest car out there has done another driver change. So it's now
yes, we knew it had to do 2, 3 car team.
Yeah, exactly. It's taking their turn. Obviously that's limited their chances somewhat.
It's the second line, which is the second stop, a shorter stop as such.
Doesn't need to be 3 minutes, so they can just do that as quickly as they like, as quickly as they can. But yeah, not another 3 minutes required.
90 Mazda is now back up into 4th place. Of course, they haven't had Joel Oswick out his pit stop, so it may well be that Baker and Burns got taken to the lead car. Now that's.
There's still Mark Rice in there. It's still Rice. We've not had a pit stop for that car yet, and we were told it was Mark Rice starting. And I think earlier Alan Hansen alluded to the fact he thought it was Will Beach in the car, but Mark Rice is what we're told.
There we go, Oswick.
So he's going to be back out into the race. Joel Oswick, what's his season been like in terms of results? Just trying to have a look at our sheet here. Not as strong as it might have been.
Well, that's Beach cars to stop fairly soon now, isn't it? Because not for anything else, they've done 29 laps. They're a lap and a half clear of anything else, but they're going to lose much of that time. That's buffer.
Absolutely. John Oswick had 3 third places before today. Those came at Alton, Spa, and Donington in the last event on the Grand Prix circuit there. So 2 Grand Prix circuits to end the Enduro season. There's the 141 car, which I think is still Warren Tattersall at the wheel. I don't think it's had a stop yet.
I think it did come in at 26 laps.
Okay, so it's probably just not filtered through on our timing screen to its position as yet.
Oswald behind.
And then Alan James who's taken over the 78 Audi. And there is the Brad Burns car, number 1. So that's now second on the screens as well. A lap and some behind Will Beach.
When Matthew Stopford and Alan James switch, do they flick the controls back to other than hand controls?
I don't know.
No, I don't know.
I don't know the answer on that one.
I'm intrigued to know.
So we need to keep an eye on this car. We also need to keep an eye on the leading car of Mark Rice and Will Beach, because that needs to come into the pits in the next couple of laps to make its mandatory stop. And it's these two really that are in contention for the Class A Championship. I think Will Stacey, who's done in 10th overall and some of the rates in Class A. And into pits has come the leader, by the way. Just come in now. Will Stacey's pretty ruled himself out of the championship battle as far as Class A is concerned. But there is the leader into the pit, the number 27 Capture Motorsport Seat Cupra. And it is right at the end of the pit lane. I always think it's going to drive all the way through the pit lane there, but the very last garage 12E, is where we find Will Beach and Mark Rice. Yeah, we can see Will Beach standing in the doorway to the pits there, so he's going to get in the car to take him from Mark for the last maybe about 17 minutes of the race.
90 Mazda is back into 3rd place.
It is, but I think pretty much almost a lap behind the Golf of Bradley Burns ahead of it now.
Yeah, I'm just seeing where he is. 40 seconds clear of Joel Oswick.
Just looking at the situation in Class C, David Lawrence is about a minute or so ahead of James Johnson now, who's taken over the car from Matthew Portree, number 23. So comfortably leading Class C. And should be good, therefore, for the Class C title. So that's the James and Stopford car. And just on our screens now, we've got the 141 car and the number 1 car as well of Bradley Burns. And just behind, isn't he, the 2 car of Joel Oswick. So Oswick is basically a lap adrift, or is about to be a lap adrift of number 1.
Right up the curve to the outside. Oswick's got the grunt in a straight line. Will the Golf be able to go on the outside? It won't. It dives across to the inside into Abbey and takes the place. Okay, it's just a notional place, but he's lapped Oswick, who's in 4th place.
we need to see is where when Mark Bryson, so Will Beach is going to go back out into this race. So Burns has got Wellington Straight, Brooklands, Luffield, Woodcut and start finish straight to go.
Not a lot of space on the outside of A3, is there? So switch back to the inside. That's Ward in the 141 car started by Warren Tattersall.
Be interesting to see if the 27 car is ready to go from the plane. By the way, the 240 car has done a 2:28.24, so another new fastest lap for that car. It's up to 8th position now, with either Brian Bransmore or Kevin Clark at the wheel. So here's the number 1 car coming through Woodcut Corner. Where is the 27 car? Should still be in the pit lane, we believe. But is it about to head out? We can't tell, because we're looking now at the number 100 car that is well down the order. There is the Mazda, and there's the 27 car going back out into the race. But which is ahead? Is it the Bradley Burns car, number 1, or is it the number 27 car that is ahead? That's what we're waiting to see. That's the car that's going to be in 3rd place.
That's a Stowe.
That's a Stowe. And there is the Grice car, the Will Beach car. He's behind Bradley Burns now, I think. I think Bradley Burns has gone through to take the lead in the race. Now that's quite something if he has, given the extra penalty that they had to serve at the pit stop. There's the 82 car, Ben Williams now going out into the race. So there's Oswick. There is the 27 car in the background. We're trying to pick up on our cameras though the number 1 Golf. We'll see if that's already arriving at Vale though, which I think it probably is doing. Yes, it is. There's the confirmation. So our new race leader then, Bradley Burns in the number 1 car, and that's going to help them to win the championship if it stays this way.
Yeah, it's about a few hundred metres, isn't it? And here comes Bradley Burns. A couple of Lotuses to negotiate on the way up to Abbey. Looks inside the first one, giving plenty of room, I'm glad to say. That's all change in the pit stop.
Yeah, if it stays this way, I think the season will end after drop scores with Baker and Burns on 64 points and Beach and Grice on 60 points. But it's been a good drive by Bradley Burns, because before Grice made his pit stop, he's just been banging in consistent laps, just taking probably 2 or 3 seconds a lap out of Mark Grice there.
He's a very good young driver, that's for sure. And I saw him in historic racing a few years ago. He's from Farnham in Surrey.
So yeah, a lot of work to do here for Will Beach. If he's going to wrest the championship away, he needs to get ahead of Brad Burns, but I think he's probably going to need some kind of mistake. We've only got less than 15 minutes to go, so probably 7 laps, or 6 laps.
That's the telling thing. It's 3 minutes and 12 seconds that Baker and Burns were behind over the timing line, and we know that the car has come out behind him, so he's lost some ground. Yeah,
and there he is about to come into. There we go, through Woodcut Corner. We'll be cutting the timing line any moment now, 19 seconds behind.
Tattersall Ward is now 4th ahead of Oswick.
Yeah, that's right.
That's the 141 ahead of number 2 Joel Oswick in the General Works BMW. And Phil Knibb is in 6th place in his Seat number 92. Ahead of Williams and Caton in the 82.
Right, so we're into the last 15 minutes, so we can give you a rundown on the order, which makes some kind of sense now. So number 1, Bradley Burns is leading the way for Area Motorsport. Number 27, Will Beach is 2nd for Capture Motorsport. 3rd is number 90, that's Dan Irving in the Mazda MX-5. 4th is 141, which is Dave Ward now in the Set Lane Euro Cup. 5th, number 2, Joel Oswick. 6th, number 92, Phil Knibb now in the Leon Euro Cup. 7th, number 82, Ben Williams. 8th is the 240 car, either Kevin Clark or Brian Branson, BMW. Ninth and leading Class B is number 95, that's Kevin Glover now. 10th is number 48, Will Stacey. Second in Class B is Dan Sylvester, who's had over to Scott Parker now. Doesn't look like Dan Sylvester's going to get another win for his Autosport tally, unfortunately, today.
With the Casco Dora.
Indeed. That's right. Third in Class B is Ben Short and Stuart Murch in the Mazda MX-5. Stuart Murch now at the wheel of that.
Is that for position?
No.
92.
Yes,
It is. Ford Oswick.
It is. So the Oswicks dropped out of the top 5 there for Class C. Just to explain there, 56 David Lawrence leading the way from 23 Matthew Botry and James Johnson, and 36 Sam McKee and Alex Bolden. So Sam McKee having a strong final stint to the race. So it looks like it's going to be a Class A championship for Rob Baker and Bradley Burns, and a Class C championship for David Lawrence. And there's the Class B leading car.
Which is Kevin Glover in 95, he's 9th, and nearest to them, Parkin and Sylvester, and they're 23 seconds down with 11 minutes to go. Now, Scott Parkin last time round at 2:39, Glover at 2:38, so Parkin and they're broadly the same time, so I don't see 20 odd seconds being catchable.
And that's the fastest car on circuit at the moment. This BMW M3 Pistachio car, and making its way along the Wellington Straight into the final 11 minutes or so of this race. This is an invitation class car, so it's not scoring points in the championship.
It's gone out by 7 seconds between first and second.
It has 2:29 for Brad Burns, who's been doing those kind of lap times fairly consistently, and a 2:36 for Will Beach, which will have been his first flight lap, I think, won't it?
Now, the Tattersall and Ward Seat 141 is lapping 3.5 seconds quicker than the 90 Mazda in third.
But there's half a minute or so behind, I think, isn't it?
So I think that's going to be a good chase, but I don't think it's going to reverse the current rate.
Down to the brackets sequence goes the BMW.
It's leaning on that.
Really pushing hard.
Yeah, super.
Obviously, because of the conditions, not getting any lap records here. The lap records were set 4 years ago when we last raced on this layout, back in October 2019. 2:19.79 was the lap record for Owen Fitzgerald. So about 9 seconds off that in the case of the fastest.
BMW on call.
Yeah, about 12 seconds off it in the in Class B. Conditions have been tricky. They've improved all the time. Well, improved in terms of they've got left all the time. Well, that's not necessarily making it easier on a linear basis. Still a bit of spray being kicked up, but not nearly as much as there was earlier on. So here's Shavitz, and this is driving 9th place. He's putting a lap on Griffin there, who is I'm trying to find where Griffin is in the
He's down in 15th out of 34.
That's right.
Irving a slower lap at 2:41. Just 5 seconds to lose now. Can Ward close in the 141 car?
Back out on circuit there, you can see the number 6 car. That will be Ryan Parkin now above the Audi TT. Dylan Britt having started the car, but it had those issues that have been rectified. Yeah, an injector, but it's only running its 9th lap of the race at the moment. The leaders are running lap.
Never give up.
34.
Never give up. Now another 3 seconds clawed back by Ward in the 141. 29 seconds between 3rd and 4th place. But look, he's got the Nib and Rath car on his tail, and that's Phil Nib. So there aren't really some changes at the bottom end of the top 6, maybe into the top 3.
That's right.
It's going to go down to the wire here at Silverstone today. Final round of the championship. Lotus is still locked together.
Quite a few Lotuses entered for the Club Enduro race today. There's the E47 car from the XSKO car.
Ahead of them for position. And there's the Beach and Oswick cars.
Which are a lap apart, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
Yeah. There's the little Yaris, number 50, Cam Walton. And there, those two latest that we're looking at a few months ago, cars like Michael Sanford, number 19. I'm not sure that they need those wipers to be going quite at the pace they are. There didn't appear to be a lot of spray being kicked up onto the windscreens. Maybe it's deceptive. Because if you get closer to a car behind, it becomes more important. Oh, what a spin, and it's Michael Dark in the Crown Paints car. So that's on the exit of Aintree, the approach to Wellington Straight.
And there's someone else wide behind that, and of course the BMW was stopped on the.
Yeah, it's not a great place. And you often see cars run wide there. It is edging its way back onto the circuit. Yeah,
it's fine again. Just it lost fire. But the two Seats together, and that was 92. Phil Knibb ahead of Ward in 141. So that's been a change during this lap.
And there's Julian McBride making his way through. And then we've got the Lotus, then the Genetic for Andrew Shepherd from
25 seconds, four more seconds nibbled away by the Phil Knibb Andrew Rath car 92 on the Mazda.
Brad Burns has pulled out another 5 seconds over Will Beach as well, and that actually gets up to 37 seconds now.
Yes, just very accomplished.
No, very good drive. I mean, we thought initially that the fact that Rob Baker hadn't built a big lead over Mark Price in the early stages might prove crucial, but it's not been that way. There's the 23 car, which is the James Johnston and Matthew Portugal. It's Matthew Baldry in the second half of this race. James Johnston started that car for us, so apologies to both.
There's the number 90, the third placed Mazda. That times have lengthened on that car, so over 240. So I wonder if Irving's looking at those oil pressure gauges and thinking, yeah, I've nursed it a bit. I've got 25 seconds, but that will soon be eroded. We've only got 2 laps to go in reality, depending on where the leader is. And here he is. It'll be.
I think it is going to be.
It will be 2 laps to go.
Yeah. At the end of this. Yes, there'll be about. More than 1 lap time left by the time Bradley Burns goes on to the next lap in the Audi Motorsport Golf, which corners Luffield and gets on the gas now as the car heads to Woodcut Corner.
The parking Audi TT's back into the pits.
Darkside developments having a heavy day. Oh, and that's a spinner. That's the number 20 car of Vitortas Piperas. That's on the exit of Cops, I think.
Yeah, I think it is.
Marshall's rushing to the scene. Green flag waving now at the exit of the corner.
Kind of head busted the barrier, didn't it?
Yeah. Marshall's checking the driver is okay. The driver from
Lithuania.
Bury St Edmunds. There's the T40 car, still the fastest car out there, still a 2:28.40. Still not quite sure who's in that car at the moment. It is running in 7th place now.
That's any help.
Does Brian Branson have an orange crash helmet, Josh?
To match his car?
I think he might do, so it won't be Brian Branson that's in that car at the moment. There's the race leader though, Brad Burns. He's done a tremendous job here, hasn't he? With in the second part, Rob Baker starting that car, doing enough to wrap up the championship over Will Beach and Mark Bryce.
19 seconds between Phil Knibb and Dan Irving now.
Yeah, 6 seconds a lap being made up, but it's
and Oswick's got back ahead of Ward.
He has, yes. With a long lap forward on the previous lap of 2:58. So must have had a moment.
Spin somewhere, I suggest.
Yeah. So next time the leader goes through, it'll be the last lap. This is the Class B leader going through, Kevin Glover, who's in 9th position, ahead of Scott Parkin, second within that class, and third within that class is Stuart Much.
Rushing up towards Village in the loop is Brad Burns. There's Kevin Glover in 95, 9th place overall, leader of Class B, started by Luke Schlevitz, Checker Sports entry.
So there's the leader, about to head on to his penultimate lap. Big spin for Alan James, though.
He's kept it out of the crowd, that's the important thing.
He has, yes, in number 78. Here's though our leader just heading into Brooklands for the final time now, turning his way through double right-hander at Luffield, and he'll get the last lap board. Just looking at our commentary box window, yes, last lap board is ready by the looks of it for Brad Burns. And he'll see it now. And the last lap is underway in this Tagiwa Club Enduro season that's taken in 7 rounds across the country and indeed in Europe as well. The season started at Croft back in April, while Stacey was the winner there, first of his 3 wins this season. A couple of those with Rob Boston later on, and Anglesey and Donington wins as well this season for Mark Rice and Will Beach. Luke Sargent and Josh Files and Rob Baker and Bradley Burns. Looks like Baker and Burns are going to get their 2nd win of the season, and with it wrap up the Class A Championship.
Well, looks like it really sure-footed, that car looks. Not put a foot wrong, Bradley Burns in his stint. Saw that big moment for Rob Baker earlier on, lapping the 2 BMWs in line astern onto the hangar straight, and found himself edged out over onto the grass. 15 seconds, slight response from Irving in 3rd place. The 4 pulled back by Phil Knibb, and that's 240 BMW who's now up into 6th place. There's
our prospective Class C champion that we saw briefly on the screen there. That was 56 David Lawrence. There's our prospective Class A champion Bradley Burns down the Hamilton Straight towards Abbey in the autumn sunshine, but there is an autumnal nip in the air. James Beckett reports from out on the spectator banks.
David Lawrence has made this one his own, hasn't he, in that Class C?
Yeah, been pretty untroubled, and he's going to have a big victory there within that class. Final half of the lap though for Bradley Burns, just needs to bring the car home safely. Through the loop he goes. Looking for 2nd win of the season for this area motorsport team in this Golf that they've been using this season.
Made about half a minute on the Grice Beach car in 6 or 7 laps.
It's a very good performance. Beach probably realising that the chase was futile here. They'll settle for, I think, 2nd place within the class. But Burns it is, coming out of Brooklands now through the right-hander at Luffield. There is 56, that's going to be our Class C winner, Class C champion David Lawrence. He's just heading onto the straight as well. But here is number 1 there, Bradley Burns in the area motorsport Volkswagen Golf. He's been sharing with Rob Baker. It comes through to take the win in the final round of the Tagiwa Club Enduro Championship for 2023. And with it the Class A Championship as well. They've completed 37 laps in that race. That's going to be our Class B winner. That's going to be Luke Schlevitz, but Kevin Glover driving that car at the moment.
Driving in 9th, but no prospect of catching 8th unless there's a drama.
No, I think probably already through has gone David Lawrence as well. You think that's just him flashing through now. There he is. Yes, he has won Class C both on the day and this season as well. David Lawrence in the Honda Civic FN2. There's that Civic that's in the barriers at Cops Corner. And there's David Lawrence passing his stricken classmate, having wrapped up the championship there, so not very well done to him. There's Brad Burns in the number 1 car, victorious. Great drive, particularly from Brad, but Rob Baker had a good first part of the race as well, in spite of those grassy dramas on the hangar straight.
8.8 seconds between the 3rd and 4th. Are they back now? Henderson.
I think they must be, yes. But we've got Cam Walton heading up the Wellington Straight now. Final few cars coming through to complete their races. This TDI World Club Enduro Championship. Of course, Scott Parkin have already wrapped up the overall championship after the last race at Donington Park. And Class C was still to be decided. It's been decided in favour of David Lawrence, so congratulations to him. And congratulations also to Rob Baker and Brad Burns, who have wrapped up Class A. And here's our Class B driver, one of the final drivers to come through, actually, Kevin Glover. I think he's about to take the checkered flag in to complete his 36th lap in what would be 8th place overall, I think. Yes, so getting ahead of Ben Williams and Harvey Caton at the end there. I think that's everyone home now, more or less. So we'll see in a moment if we're able to give you a rundown on the classification before we head down to Josh Barrett in the pit lane.
240 BMW ended at 5th.
It did.
Galloping up the lap charts in the last sector of the race.
That's absolutely right.
We think Brian Branson in at that point.
So let's see, are we able to bring you the classification from that race? We'll bring you those very shortly. You can see the cars heading around on their slowing down lap. Rob Baker and Bradley Burns taking the win then after 37 laps, a minute very nearly. Head off in second place, number 27, Mark Bryson will Beach. Third was the number 90 car, Dan Irving and Alan Henderson, a lap down on the leaders. Fourth went to number 92, Phil Neab and Andrew Rath. The invitation class car of 240, Jazz Sattler, Kevin Carter and Brian Branson was fifth in 240. Rounding out the top six was number 2, Joel Oswick in the BMW M2. Number 95 was 8th, that was the Class B winner, Luke Schlevitz and Kevin Glover in the Jabba Sport Golf. Second within that class, 11th overall number 89, Scott Parker and Dan Sylvester. Further back, as we move to the next screen, we will see who was third in that class. It was Ben Short and Stuart Much. They were third within that class, but behind the Class C winner, David Lawrence, who was a fine 18th overall ahead of Matthew Porter and James Johnson. And third within that class, Sam McKee and Alex Baldwin. So those are the top three in their respective classes, and the rest of them all feeding through, not all of them making it all the way to the end, unfortunately, of that TDI Club Enduro Championship race, which went 37 laps in the case of the race-winning team of Rob Baker and Bradley Burns. So there'll be more TDI Club Enduro action next season, I am sure. We've still got 3 races to come this afternoon for you here at Silverstone, but before we get on to the hot hatches and the alphas that are coming up next, let's go down to Josh Barrett in the pit lane.
So we're down here in the pit lane after the final round of the TDI Club Enduro Championship for 2023, and the race-winning car has made its way in of Bradley Burns and Rob Baker, who started, and Brad's just gone over to have a chat with the Class C winner, David Lawrence, all part of the area motorsport squad. And if we can jump in, Brad, well done, a race win and a real fast stint there from you.
Yeah, it's good. It was quite wet out there when I first went out, and just stuck on the dry lines. Josh Foles told me yesterday where to go, and that's what I did. And yeah, it worked well, and I think we're doing quite well on the time side of things.
Yeah, at the end of the race, I think you were 3-4 seconds quicker than the Seat that Rob was battling with at the start.
Oh yeah. I had him on the radio, and he was telling me calm down. I was like, oh, keep on going. But yeah, it was good.
Obviously, you jumped in this car sort of halfway through the season, and the car sort of, the development's come on really well, and the pace is there now.
Yeah, Motorsport done a lot of work with it, and it's got better and better. And it's a phenomenal car. They've done a good job.
And obviously, it's you jumped into the car. Did Rob give you any tips, or did you sort of get to the grips of the car quite early on in the season?
Yeah, Rob's done a lot with the car, so he knows everything about it. He told me what to do here, there. The ABS I hadn't had before and bits like that. Just had to adapt, but yeah, it's good.
And this means as well the championship's been won in Class A for Rob, so that's a sort of job done.
Yeah, brilliant. He said on the radio, he said, I think we got it, so that's perfect.
Well done, Brad, great stuff. And just behind you is David Lawrence, Class C winner and a Class C championship as well, we think.
Yes, I believe so, as long as no infringements come my way, but yeah, it seems that way.
And after a problematic last couple of rounds, this is a great way to end the season for you.
Yeah, I literally went out my way to make sure this round was just going to be plain sailing and no issues, and change a lot of stuff for the team, so So yeah, I'm glad it's held up well in the conditions that's been today. It's been very slippery. So
the track started very wet at the beginning. How did that develop as the race went on?
It was better at the start, and then it just got worse because as it was drying up, it just got it got really greasy, and it was really hard to judge where it was best. So yeah. And
you've done that much actual circuit racing before this year, so how have you found it?
No, this is my first year of racing, and I've really enjoyed it, to be honest. I wish there was a lot more cars in my class to give a good battle, but it is what it is, and we'll go again for next year.
Back in this car next season?
We'll hope so. I might maybe get a different car, move up a class maybe, where it's a bit more of a challenge.
Oh, we look forward to whatever you're at and one on this season. So there's our Class C winner, David Lawrence. Class B winner, Kevin Glover's just made his way into the pit. So we'll have a word with Kevin. Well done, Kevin. A class win after all these races battling against this diesel guy on top for the last round.
Yeah, it was. We seem to work well in the wet at the moment. So yesterday, when it looked like it was going to be dry, I thought, oh no, it's going to be a dry one. We'll lose the pace. But the car's been amazing. I did the last 40 minutes of the stint, and the car was just dancing round, and we're just flying past everybody, Class A cars and that. Didn't have radio, so I wasn't sure where we were, and then they put a pit board out. It was like plus 22 seconds, first place, so just backed off from there. But I mean, it's kept us honest all year, and at least now there is somebody that can actually take it to Scott, because he's had a bit of a run of it at the minute.
When you sort of battled with him, what's sort of the difference between the petrol and the diesel engines?
There's not much in it. If you look at his videos, he seems to have really good gear changes compared to ours. The boost just doesn't drop. So when you kind of try to tow him down the straight, he just has the legs on you a little bit in a straight line. But otherwise, they're really evenly matched. Just some little setup differences, really.
Well done on your win. I think your teammates just over here, so we'll have a word with Luke if we can. Luke, a class win to end of the season. Kevin obviously brought it home. How was your opening stint?
Sketchy. It was so slippery out there and just changing conditions. First few laps were absolutely horrendous with spray, but just kept it where we needed to, keep on the track, keep pounding in decent laps, and then Kev just brought it home and kept going faster, so couldn't ask for more really.
Obviously you were racing in the Club Enduro Championship when it all began. How do you feel the championship's developed since then?
It's definitely gone to a lot more professional. We've raced in a few other things, and we come back to this, which says a lot. But yeah, it's a great place to be. Hopefully we can do a full year next year and not miss the first two rounds. But I think that should be us P2 in the championship overall as well now.
Oh, well done on your season, great stuff. The champion of the year is here, so let's have a word with Scott.
Hello.
Scott, the win didn't come, but the season has been fantastic.
No, definitely not a champion's drive then. Danny definitely did a champion's drive. In the first stint, he were absolutely flying. The whole idea was to pit as early as possible, but I think in those conditions, really, I should have made the decision to leave him out for longer. So he came in more or less bang on the pit window opening time. And then by that point the tyres had cooled down, so I went out and they were on the radio telling me the times Luke were doing, and he were taking 2 seconds, 3 seconds out as I got up to speed, and then by the time I got up to speed they pitted. Then I were knocking a little bit out with Kevin, but I think then they had the measure of me definitely. So yeah, not a champion's drive that one, but you know.
The whole season, let's talk about that, because so many victories over the course of the year in I guess it's a family-run business converted into this car. Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, so obviously it's me and my brother, and then we've got a big team of guys who obviously without them we wouldn't be here, not just in terms of racing but in terms of the business as well. So thanks to all them, you know, it's been a really good season. It's a shame that I can't make the end of season awards, so I thank them all then, so I suppose I can thank them now. So yeah, appreciate all the help that everybody does for us, and all his family, all his friends who support us as well. So yeah, really appreciate it. Like I say, without them this wouldn't happen.
What is your plan for next season?
So we've got the 2 TTs, we're going to convert the other one to diesel, and then me and Ryan need to have a showdown as to who's going to do Class A, who's going to do Class B. Yeah. So I'd like to do Class A, but if Ryan really wants to do it, then he can do it.
So that's all got to be discussed over the next few months.
Exactly. Argued, not discussed, I think.
Well, well done on your season, well done. So there's Scott Parkin, the Tigera Club Enduro champion for 2023. Then we go back to sprint racing now for the rest of the day. We have the PBS Brakes Hot Hatch with the High-Tech Alpha Mode Championship coming up next.
Thanks, Josh. As you can see, the Alpha's starting to line up on the grid, and it's deja vu because it's a dump track that they are lining up on, as they did earlier. And in this morning's race, of course, we saw the second group of cars, the hot hatch cars, fly their way through the field. Dan Sylvester taking the overall lead within 2 laps, which was just as well because we then had the safety car for the remainder of the race. Let's have a look at how the grid is going to line up then. Again, it's the Alphas on the front part of the grid, the hot hatches on the back